I love Bob's Burgers, but you knew that. Anyway, after watching the latest season, season 13, I gotta say this show still freaking rules. Shocking, I know, but wow, this was a great season. And one of my personal favorite batches of the whole show. It's a mix of classic feeling episodes and very experimental episodes, and while I don't think it reaches the highs of, say, season 6 to 8, I do think it's one of the most consistent seasons. None of these episodes are bad, even its worst I just consider kinda mid. So you know what? Let's rank the season. I feel that's the best way I can cover everything I want to say. Some segments will be shorter, just because I really want to draw attention to some of the more heartfelt or unique episodes. 22 episodes, easy, no problem at all. Anyway, before we start ranking, I quickly want to add a couple notes. This is probably the funniest season to me in a while. Season 11 and 12 were funny, they had moments, but overall, this feels like the comedy is back in peak condition, along with the heart, and I love how this one is drawn. The look of the season is so cool. Like, the show has definitely never looked better. The movie doesn't count. Okay, let's start the ranking. Woo! Also, the episode titles of this show are freaking nonsense, so just bear with me here.
So here's this giant enemy crab.
Crabsolutely Fabulous is the only episode this season I think is not that good, but not for lack of trying. There's a lot of effort here. I just find wrestling stories really boring. Yeah, boring. I like some of the wacky background designs here, but otherwise, yes, doesn't do it for me. The only one of the season that I can't really see myself ever rewatching. Also, it was funny because when I watched this, there was an apocalyptic storm happening outside. It enhanced the experience, to be honest. Anyway, yeah, skippable, but if you like wrestling and pool noodles, this one's for you.
I know, but that's because we're best friends, dude.
She could be a dude too, dude.
Come on.
I'm serious. She could actually be a 300-pound dude who lives in his mama's basement in suburban Detroit. And her name is Chuck. Think about that.
Ready Player Gene is... Okay, here's my hot take. I don't love Gene. His voice acting kind of bugs me, and while there are episodes that I really love him in fact, one of my favorite episodes of the whole show is about him, his sense of humor just doesn't do it for me. His humor consists of vulgar comments and pop culture references, which can sometimes be really funny, but due to his delivery, you can't shake the feeling that these jokes would be funnier from literally any other character. Also, VR is a topic I couldn't care less about, so yeah, this one doesn't really do it for me. Creative visuals, and I like that Gene actually makes a mistake and faces consequences. Also, good Dad Bob, I like that. Okay, yeah, let's move on.
I ate some bugs, I ate some grass, I used my hand to wipe my tears.
Already getting better, whoa. The Riki Lake show is a pretty average episode that I like a bit more than I let on, just because I have stayed in a crappy cabin away from all civilization. I watched Ice Age 5 in that cabin. Yep. This episode has some really funny stuff, but man, is it gross. Also, Linda is sort of annoyingly self-centered here. But yeah, I do appreciate the new location. It has some funny moments. Also, if I had to face this many bugs, I'd probably have no choice but to blow up Canada out of self-defense again. I'm sorry, it's just how I cope. Okay, so this season obviously is also the follow-up to the movie in which Louise is basically the main character, so it makes sense that this would be a very Louise-heavy season as a result, and let me tell you, they did some stuff I adore with her this season. The weakest out of her episodes has to be Stop or My Mom Will Sleuth, however. It's decent, and it does show how much she's grown, and the little mystery is fun. Like, stuff does kinda look bad for her, they had me going. But ultimately, the reveal is kind of underwhelming, and this episode isn't that funny either. The subplot is gold, though. You make those business cards, Teddy. Heck yeah.
Okie dokie, look out. 4!
Okay, Putsgiving isn't really this low tier an episode. I like it fine, it's just that this is that season's Thanksgiving episode. Thanksgiving episodes in this show are sacred. They're some of the best of the whole thing. My mom's favorite episode is a Thanksgiving episode, and my brother's is also a Thanksgiving episode, and while none of the Thanksgiving episodes are my favorite episode, they're all really good, mostly, but man, can't we just do a mini golf episode without it taking that sacred slot? These are like the highlights of the season usually, and here's just like an episode? Shame on you, entire crew of Bob's Burgers forever. I'm joking. I love y'all.
Tina, you can tell me. In fact, you should tell me. It'll feel better. And if you don't tell me, it'll make Billy angry. And you don't want to make Billy angry.
Cheaty Cheaty Bang Bang is pretty decent. I like Tina's investment in something with so little consequence. There's a naive, innocent side to Tina's character I really like. Plus, there's some fun stuff with the doll. And bro, the lighting in the fort is so good. What the heck? I want to go in there. A lot of good jokes with Bob and Linda subplot too, with the contractor. Yes, pretty good. That's it. Bird. Sorry, Crow's Encounters of the Bird Kind is a wholesome Bob and Tina episode. Wow! I think Ranger Dawko's a pretty funny character they need to use more. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I like birds. I liked it. Well, I really did rank most of the teen episodes right next to each other, huh? Another solid one.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching.
These Boots Are Made for Stalking, the titles in this show, I swear, is a fun episode where Tina acts #relatable for real. Pretty funny. I like the way this episode is paced a lot. The freaking Here Comes a Riddle, It's My Middle Finger song is hysterical. Yeah, overall a solid one. I quite liked it, yeah. Okay, bye.
Tina, honey, what happened?
The author of the journals.
Mother Author Laser Pointer. Yep. Does have a bit of that Linda is being annoyingly selfish here, but it's saved by the heart. This is a wholesome episode. Plus, I love the way the Snail and Newt segments are drawn. Real pretty stuff. And the fact the book series ends on such a dark note is hysterical to me. Like, what the heck? Overall, I'm mixed on this one, but it does have that juicy experimental stuff I was hinting at with this season. Plus, it's real sweet.
The threats worked. Now I'm gonna tickle you, Comet. Tickle, tickle, tickle.
You heard the number transition sound right. This is the episode where Mr. Fish Odor tickles a comet, and that's all I have to say about it. But this is a really sweet Teddy episode, and there's a lot of those, and this one's not thanks hoarding or anything, but it is still really sweet. I love his relationship with Kathleen, more on that later. Plus a lot of good jokes, and Linda is right. Nothing beats kettle corn, but yeah, the highlight was still Fish Odor tickling the comet. I mean, he tickled a comet.
It's made with human remains from the crematorium next door.
The show and tell must go on is another Louise episode, but I actually really like this one. Lots of great animation here with the staging and the animation of the water splashes and the posing, and yeah, this season's visuals are off the chain. It just looks so nice. Also, the little reference to the pilot was cute. Okay, but the real stars of this episode are Teddy and Kathleen. Told you I'd get back to them. And they're probably my favorite couple in the show at this point. I mean, besides Bob and Linda. I love how understanding Kathleen is, and their little dance was adorable. I love these two, and the A-plot ain't half bad either. This is a good episode.
Get a job! Get a job!
If I had one thing I really don't care for in this show, it's the seasonal anthology episodes, where we get 3 stories vaguely centered around a topic. These episodes usually can't do less to invest me. That being said, What About Job is kind of the exception to the rule, because all the stories tie in to Louise's very real development that I discussed a lot in the Bob's Burgers movie review, which makes it investing to see them try and comfort her. The last story especially was fun, and it's really sweet how dang supportive they are. This season in general is really sweet, and this was the first to make me go, oh, wow, that's great at the end. It's less funny than some of the ones we'll get to, but it's elevated a lot by the heart. It's really dang wholesome.
Shut up and take my money!
We're in the top 10 now. Gift Card or Buy Trying is a good episode because of that title alone. Mostly because it acknowledges my issues with Jean as a character, which is satisfying. Plus it's real funny, though British Tina's cursed and they should probably throw her into the abyss so she can't hurt anyone. Also, Jean's friend sounds like an actual kid and it's genuinely jarring. Like, what?
Can't do this anymore. You're so annoying.
Very good episode with loads of great jokes. It's just a really funny one. Yeah, oh my gosh. The Stitchinator. So You Stink, You Can Dance has this great dancing animation at the end. Holy crap, it looks so good! Again, I love the way this season is drawn. Plus, the episode itself is very funny and charming. Like, this petty jerkwad teacher's hysterical, it has Cousin Leslie, who I never thought we'd see again, and it has the return of Flips White Fudge, the best character. The subplot feels like very classic Bob's Burgers episode to me for some reason. This feels like kind of like season 1. Plus, I think this is the most wholesome Tina and Jimmy Jr. episode since, like, Ex Machitina, and one of the only times I've actively rooted for them as a couple. He treats her so nicely here. Plus, it has Zeke, and Zeke is epic.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
The Apple Gorchard, but not gory, is a great Halloween episode with a very unique setting compared to any other. The farm is really cool and kind of spooky. Not one of their best Halloween episodes, but it's not one of their worst either. Again, I love the way this episode looks. Visuals are lovely. Plus, I really like Louise's friendship with that one. I wish it'd come up more. They play off each other really well. Also, Bob is ridiculously charming. I can't explain it, but like, look at him.
I I sawed this boat in half!
The 250th episode of the whole show is a completely normal episode, but you know what? It's really good. Oh, Row You Didn't is completely carried by the new character, Mr. Boat, which is definitely his name. Lots of good character interaction in this one. I always like when Bob has the pressure of good publicity threatened. It's similar to the show's most popular episode ever. But yeah, great one nonetheless. Now we get to the season's top tier episodes. Yes, there are 6. Show Mama from the Grave is an extremely sentimental episode.
Hi, Mom.
Not only do we have the reveal of Bob's name finally, but it's also an interesting case of Bob being insecure. I like the way he's upset about himself for not visiting his mom's grave until now. It's interesting. I love that. Linda's funny, and I love the song at the end. It's so sweet and like wholesome sounding. I don't know. Also, winter backgrounds are so dang pretty, man. This is a great visual episode, but really it's that heart. Particularly that's what wins it for me in this show, and this episode is so wholesome, can't resist. A great one, honestly.
Avenge me.
Avenge me!
God, this season premiered with a bang. To Bob or not to Bob is hysterical, and also like one of the best feeling episodes of the whole season. This is pure Bob's Burgers at its, like, finest comedically. I love episodes involving performances in this show, and this is one of those. But not only that, it's a Mr. Fish Odor episode as well. Double trouble. So many good gags. The running Avenge Me bit is really funny. The visuals are great in this one. I love Louise's fantasy, which is probably better looking than the entirety of Season 12. Speaking of Season 12, after Season 12 was so, like, off voice acting-wise, hearing the voice actors in peak performance for the first time in a non-movie thing since, like, Season 10 is great. Also, I enjoy Louise and Felix's outfit for some reason. That design is great. It's really funny.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars?
Amelia is the season finale, and one of the most experimental and sweet episodes of the whole show, as well as being one of the most visually gorgeous in the whole show. I freaking adore how this one looks, and the episode is really beautiful in more ways than just the visuals. I sort of think this is the culmination of all of Louise's growth throughout the show, and this season specifically. Like, Season 1 Louise would never do this, and seeing her struggle with it is really compelling. I don't usually associate Bob's Burgers with brilliant emotional storytelling, but yeah, this is a really good one. Plus, all the Amelia Earhart stuff is really interesting to me. I like when this show goes into history, as we'll get a little bit later. Yeah, I mean, it's a great finale to the season. It ended on a high note.
This is the comedy police! The joke's too funny!
Mr. Fish Odor, the character so good that literally any episode where he's important is automatically top tier.
You down there! Catch this knife!
Kidding! It's April Fools! Sheesh.
This is the funniest episode of the whole season. Holy moly, I love every joke in this one. From the montage of Mr. Fish Odor's pranks to Felix's lunges to that ending, it all works to create a effortlessly funny episode. Like, not a single joke really misses here. Plus, a lot of great visual gags, which aren't typically the show's strong suit, but here they did it really well. Plus, I just love how evil Mr. Fish Odor is in this one. This is one of his best episodes where he's the antagonist for sure. Like, some of my favorite episodes are Mr. Fish Odor as the antagonist episodes, so like, yeah, highly recommend checking this one out for a laugh.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need.
The Plight Before Christmas might be the sweetest episode in the whole dang show.
Ron cried!
I did.
It's an episode that's perfectly paced and has so much heart. Even though last year also gave us Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special and A Christmas Story Christmas, this was still my favorite Christmas thing. Louise at this point is a co-main character to Bob, and this episode shows why. Plus the visuals go off in this one. It's probably the second best directed episode in the whole show. Watch this episode right after watching the movie. Louise's arc in that film transitions so smoothly into this one. This episode is amazing. So good, but everyone loves it. It's literally the highest rated episode of the whole show on IMDb. Wowers. Anyway, yeah, incredible episode. Also, Tina Fey. That's it. Tina Fey. Don't ask me to elaborate, you... Radio No You Didn't is the best directed episode of the whole show, and probably the most different. It's a flashback all about Bob's grandmother finding a Nazi spy in World War II. Historical fiction is dope, and this story is really compelling. I love all the voice cast in the flashbacks. I love the look of this one. The direction is really, really great. Plus, like most of this season, there's sentimentality here. There's heart, and I really appreciate it. I'd honestly love a whole show about Grandma Alice because the tone of this episode is so unique. The jokes are funny, but they don't really distract from the serious story. Yeah, except maybe the occasional remark from Gene, but even he got a couple genuinely funny ones. Honestly, I'd love this episode and want more like it. I want a whole show in this style. Burger show good, go watch Guardians 3.